What's up, vapors? Thanks for checking out Daily Vape TV. My name is Nick, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Mesh-Plus-RDA. So before we get started with this video, I do have to thank you guys for being so supportive of me last week when I was completely sick. I will be back up and running with a full production of videos this week, and hopefully I'll be a little bit more prepared just in case something like that happens again in the future. But with that being said, just thank you guys so very much for all the support. So this one comes to me from a relatively new company called Vapefly, with a big shout out and thank you going their way for sending this my way for the purpose of making this video. They've only been around since 2017, and they don't really have a whole heck of a lot of products under their belt yet, but with that, I really feel like they struck gold with the Mesh-Plus-RDA. It's just kind of restored my faith in the Mesh platform, and I really have been enjoying vaping on this thing for the past couple of weeks. So this device is available in 3 different colors. You can get it in black, stainless, and rainbow, and you can get one for around the $35 mark, which I think is very fair. And of course, if you guys want to get one of these for yourself, I'll leave links right down there in the description below. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive down to the close-up view and take a better look at this thing. Alright guys, as you can see, we've got the Mesh-Plus-RDA in its original box, so let's quickly take a look around the packaging and then we'll talk about what's inside. So, first and foremost, very basic packaging with this one here. A picture of the device with a little bit of that spot gloss on there, and the silver embossed logo right there. On this side, we have our little scratch-off authentication little thing there, and on the top we have our color indication. This one is stainless steel. On the back, we have some pretty basic specs, just basically some main features of the device itself and some information about the company, and that's pretty much it. So let's take off the cover and see what's on the inside here. Well, of course, we have the RDA itself. Let's just take that out and put that aside real quick. We have a little foam insert and a little cardboard thing as well. We have our obligatory package of parts, and of course you get one of everything. You get a full set of screws, you get a little tool, a bottom feeding pin, and a full set of O-rings, as well as this little 510 drip tip adapter as well, which is kind of nice. Then you have your wire. They supply you with 2 little strips of Kanthal A1. You get 2 Nichrome 80 strips. There you go. And then you get these funky things here. This is the stainless steel 316, and it's got these weird kind of ridges to it. I'll just take one out of the package real quick and show you guys here. There you go. You can kind of see that pattern on there. It's basically designed to not burn. Really interesting. I have not used one yet, and I will be getting back to you guys on that in a future update on the vlog or something like that. But that's pretty interesting. I really like that. Just kind of new, different, innovative, and unique. So there you go. A very basic fold-out quick start guide. Yeah, it's fold-out, but it's tiny, so who cares? I'm not going to knock any points off. Basic setup instructions, customer service information, and brand information there. And that's pretty much it. You get a little parts list on this side and a little thank you, so that's pretty neat. Alright guys, let's talk specs. It's 25 millimeters in diameter. It's made of stainless steel with 510 threads. It has a bottom feeding pin included, so it's ready for squonking. Oblique hole for wicking, limited slot design, postless dual clamp deck for mesh and standard coils. The included stainless steel mesh is rated between 0.12 to 0.18 ohms, made of SS316L, good for 50 to 70 watts or between 270 to 290 degrees Celsius in temp control mode, and it has a no burning mesh design with rich flavor. Alright guys, let's go over the Mesh-Plus-RDA from top to bottom, starting off with this drip tip up top here. Nothing really special about this whatsoever. It's your standard 810 Delrin widebore drip tip. It's a good height. It's very comfortable to vape on. It fits in there really nicely, and I'll show you guys the bore real quick there. As you can see, nice and wide, and just to prove to you guys that it is in fact 810, I've got one of these Dead Rabbit drip tips here. Right up top, boom, slots in, no problem whatsoever. Really good fit, no complaints about that whatsoever there. Up top we have the little O-ring in the inside of the top cap section there. Like I said, no problems whatsoever. You have these little ridges right there on the edge of the top cap, which make it a little bit easier to adjust your airflow back and forth. Gives you a little bit of grip on there, and as you can see, you can adjust it no problem. So the top cap section is separated with these two parts here. You have the barrel and the airflow control side as well, and as you can see, it's got this little kind of a bridge going across there in the airflow control section, which kind of gives you a little guide to give you a decent idea of where your airflow is at. You can use the left side or the right side. You can use both at once, etc., etc. There's lots of different options there for you. The barrel section, as you can see here, has these slots cut out right there, and they are on an angle. So that's kind of something a little bit different for you guys. And then, as you can see, it's got this little ridge running all the way across there to the other side as well. And the O-ring on this thing, very, very nice and firm. You can hold the whole mod by the actual top cap section, and it's not going to fall off. I have zero fear about that whatsoever. And that's pretty much it as far as this upper section here. The only cool thing about this lower section is the little tabs. You can probably see the little tabs right underneath the airflow holes on the inside of the top, the barrel section there. And that actually aligns your airflow in place, which is really, really neat. You'll see what I'm talking about when we show you the deck in just a second here, but that is a lifesaver sometimes when it comes time to taking the RDA off of your device. And here's the piece you guys all came to see. This is the build deck itself, and I gotta say, really funky design, but very, very smart. You can see the two little clamps on either side there. That's for either normal coils or mesh. All you have to do is tighten both of them down if you're using mesh, or you could bridge a single coil across there, or if you're doing dual coils, you just put them from side to side just like you normally would. And then it has this little kind of platform right there in the middle, and it's got holes cut in it, which is great because then airflow gets up underneath there and hits the bottom side of your coils or whatever you got going on this build deck here. And as you can see, nice wide open kind of layout. It leaves a lot of room for wicking material and juice. And you have a juice well. You have probably about a 6mm deep juice well down there, and that holds plenty of wicking and juice, so you don't have to drip on this thing every 4 puffs or so. You can actually fit a decent amount in there. Around the outside edge, you can see these little notches cut, and that is to align that airflow up. As I showed you on the actual barrel section, it's got those little tabs. Well, that aligns right with those. And the reason there's 4 of them is because you can either align your top cap this way or this way, depending on what your coil setup is like. Sometimes you would bridge coils going across this way, or if you have bridges across this way here, then you're going to have to align your airflow differently so the air hits the actual coil itself and not just the cotton. So very, very unique, very different design, very forward thinking, and there's just so many different options with this build deck here. I absolutely love it. So on the bottom here, you can see the O-rings, which hold that barrel section in place. Very, very nice. No problems with those whatsoever. And on the bottom here, you can see the basic little mesh logo right there, and the 510 pin, which is gold plated, which is also replaceable with a bottom flow pin if you decide to use this as a squonking RDA. So that's about all I had to talk about in this little up close section here. Let's go back to the main screen, have a quick vape on this thing, and we'll talk about it some more. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the close-up section of the video. Now let's talk about my personal thoughts about this device, some pros, some cons, and whether or not it's worth purchasing. Starting off today with the pros, and my first pro is that it has a juice well. Yes, a mesh RDA with an actual juice well. Yeah, I know, I'm amazed myself as well. And with that, yeah, more cotton, more juice, less dripping, more convenient. You can overfill this thing like crazy and it doesn't gurgle. And it's just nice having an RDA with an actual juice well. You can actually drip some juice in there. It's not going to go right out the airflow holes, and it's so much better than the mesh RDA from Vape. My second pro for this device is that it has tabs that lock the top cap in position, which is great for a number of different reasons. One is when you go to take it off of your box mod or whatever you have it sitting on, it's really easy to do so because those tabs keep that cap locked in place, and then you could just turn it no problem without the barrel section spinning on you. The other thing it's good for is lining up that airflow perfectly every single time, and that keeps it nice and straight right on with the coils that are inside, and that's just so convenient convenient there. There's just so many different options you have with this device here. You can use it with mesh, you can use it with regular coils if you wanted to, and everything else in between. And with that, it's just nice to have a top cap that aligns that airflow perfectly every single time. And my third pro for this one is the airflow is very, very smooth and very comfortable to vape on. It doesn't have any sort of like whistling noise or anything like that, even if you restrict that airflow down a little bit. It doesn't have that real loud kind of rushing sound to it, and I really think that is a nice change of pace. I've been seeing a lot of kind of loud, whistly sort of RDAs lately, and this one is definitely not on that list. And my fourth and final pro for this device is it's easy to build and it's easy to wick. One thing I love about these mesh RDAs is they come with these little pre-cut strips of mesh wire, and that just makes my life a heck of a lot easier. All I had to do with this one here is install that wire, you know, put some cotton under there and fold it over, and it was just as easy as that. I didn't temper the wire one bit before. I just juiced it up and it was ready to fire. So with that, it took me, like I said, about 2 minutes to set up, start to finish, and it was good to go. And the flavor was on point since puff number 1. Alright guys, so moving on to the cons, my first con is that the slot running along the barrel section here is kind of pointless. It doesn't really do anything other than aesthetically, but with that, it does kind of collect a little bit of juice and crud. If you have anything in your vape bag and you just throw this thing in your bag, it will collect some stuff right there, so just be aware of that. I mean, personally, it really doesn't affect the performance whatsoever, and with that, I really don't mind it all that much. I'm just kind of making you guys aware of that fact. My second con for this device is that the angled airflow slots are kind of pointless. I could have definitely lived with just a normal Cyclops eye style kind of airflow design, and that would have been just fine for me personally. As far as the little kind of little bridge right in the middle there, it does kind of make a difference because it gives you some sort of like guide to where your airflow should be, whether you want to use the whole thing wide open, you want to use the smaller airflow slot or the bigger airflow slot, or somewhere in between. It gives you that little bit of a guide, although I don't really feel like it affects performance whatsoever. It's nice, but again, just kind of pointless. And my third and final con for this device is they could have beveled that top cap a little bit more, and I would have been a little bit happier. I mean, it has this kind of ridge running along the top cap here, which doesn't really do anything for me aesthetically, and just kind of looks a little bit ugly to me personally. But with that, I'm kind of grasping at straws here. I'm trying to find even the most nitpicky sort of cons for this device, because overall, I think it's a really good one. Alright guys, so at the end of the day, is this device worth purchasing? Would I go out of my way to pick one of these up if I didn't get this one in for a review? And I'm going to say yes to this one, and I'm really glad I agreed to do this video because, honestly, I was on my last straw as far as the mesh platform is concerned, and this thing definitely changed my mind. I really think there is hope yet for the mesh platform, and I think it can be a very good thing. I'm really looking forward to going into a little bit more depth with this one here and trying different things. Maybe a dual coil mesh or something like that. Who knows? The possibilities are endless with this one, and I really will encourage you guys to pick one of these up for yourself because, I mean, the price is right. It's 35 bucks. It's definitely not the most expensive RDA you could buy, and I think it's a very good little system. So definitely give this one a look, guys. Make sure you check out the links right down there in the description. So that about does it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe for more videos just like this. Don't forget to click that notification bell right next to the subscribe button if you want to be alerted whenever I upload videos. Also, leave me some comments down there in the box below. I'd love to hear your thoughts on the Vapefly-Mesh-Plus-RDA, mesh in general, or anything else you guys want to discuss down there. Also, make sure you check out the description of this video. That's where you're going to find the advocacy and my social media links. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and as always, vape on.